So I rescheduled my flight. Had no other business in Houston. Some told me I possibly could run into HoneyKomb Brazy, after the Vlad TV interview.
Okay.
This woman who just walked by me and stepped on my shoe and kind of nudged me was Jay Prince's daughter. All I know is, man, they got rude staff, and I've been tipping it, not knowing that's his daughter.
Charleston White changed his flight. He had a reason to stay in Houston a little longer, and something in his gut told him he might run into HoneyKomb Brazy, especially after everything that came out in the Vlad TV interview.
So, after the guy said I don't with him, he started leaning over talking to Dr. Candace Matthews' husband, who was just sitting down right within maybe 5 feet from me. So I'm watching his body language. I'm seeing his body language. They're having a long conversation, about a good 8 to 10 minutes. He walked off and go into the corner. So I keep my eye on him the whole time. Dr. Candace Matthews' husband get up from the table, smiling, laughing. I said, yeah, man, I see that body language. He said, yeah, man, he mad. Yeah, man, you a fool, man. He said, you sent him a picture of you. I said, that's where I know that from. That's right, yeah, that jumped in my inbox one time.
And you actually did that?
Yeah, listen.
While he was at a restaurant, a woman walked past him and stepped right on his shoe without stopping. He didn't think much of it at first. What he didn't know was that she was reportedly connected to Jay Prince's family, and he'd been tipping the staff the whole time, completely unaware of who he was actually dealing with. He kept his eyes on the room. He noticed a man sit down close to him, within about 5 feet, and start a long conversation with Dr. Candace Matthews' husband. Charleston said he watched their body language the entire time, reading every signal for a good 8 minutes or so. When the conversation wrapped up, Dr. Candace Matthews' husband came back laughing. He told Charleston that the guy was upset, and brought up a photo that had apparently been sent to someone's inbox.
I'm low down, dirty, and I'm gonna tell Jay Prince this here. I'm telling mob ties, rap a lot, y'all can smile. Do y'all hear that woman's voice? Do y'all hear the pain in that woman's voice? Now you've been knowing this was a kid's event for over a month, but because Jay Prince, because I refused to sit down with you, y'all called my manager, and I told you ain't sitting down with no. Now all of a sudden, the mayor's office is getting calls. So you mean to tell me you niggas go put kids' life in jeopardy? Y'all calling the mayor's office and say, man, we know it's a kids' event, and he speak, we go hurt him at a kids' event. That's why I hate you coward-ass mob. That's why I hate you coward-ass gangsters. That's why you ain't all the power y'all got in Houston. Y'all could have helped that woman in the organization, but you want to derail her event. You James Prince, your punk sons too. And your weird daughter that's abusing kids.
Charleston laughed when he first heard about it, saying he knew exactly what situation they were referring to. Things escalated fast once he went public with his side of the story. He said organizers were being pressured after he turned down a request to meet, and that calls were allegedly made to local officials, putting the whole event in doubt. He was furious about what he described as intimidation tactics being used against a community event meant for families. His argument was simple. Whatever beef existed between adults had no business spilling over into something designed to help local people. Personal disputes should stay personal, he said, and organizations trying to serve the public shouldn't get caught in the crossfire. He made it clear he wasn't backing down for anyone.
Fuck James Prince family. Go help somebody. Go help somebody. I'm willing to die and go to jail. The only reason I ain't show up is because Miss Pap called me. The police didn't say they wasn't gonna protect me because I got some that'll go against James Prince with me. Listen, James Prince run 5th Ward. He don't run Houston. That run 5th Ward. He don't run Houston. He don't run Texas. He don't run Dallas. He don't run that. Run 5th Ward and that Rap-A-Lot label. That don't run nothing else. And I tell that to his face, he don't run nothing. You got to pay somebody to do something, James. You got to pay somebody to do something, James. You ain't know that's go do nothing, James. You ain't know that'll take his shirt off. Nigga, please. Nigga, I ain't scared of now one you bitch ass nigga, homie. I think all you had sit down and pee. when it come to it like me and the police.
He said the only reason he didn't show up was because Miss Papp reached out to him, not because police told him not to come. He claimed he had something on James Prince and wasn't afraid to use it. He drew a sharp line between running a neighborhood and running a city. James Prince runs 5th Ward, he said. Not Houston, not Texas, not Dallas, nothing outside that one area. He extended that same point to the rap label, saying it didn't control anything beyond its own walls, and he claimed he'd say all of that directly to Prince's face. He questioned Prince's willingness to personally handle anything, suggesting that everything required paying someone else to act. He was blunt about not being intimidated, saying he wasn't scared of a single person in that circle. His point throughout was that no one person should be handed that kind of influence over a whole city. He then turned his focus toward law enforcement and raised questions about how sensitive investigative documents could have possibly ended up circulating publicly. He said federal authorities had allegedly taken an interest in figuring out exactly how that happened. His position was firm. If there was any official misconduct involved, it needed to go through the proper legal channels and be investigated the right way, not swept aside. Charleston made clear these were his own views and opinions, not verified facts. He said people should be pushing for transparency instead of chasing internet rumors. In his mind, going through official channels and asking real questions was always going to be more useful than spreading speculation on social media. He challenged anyone with doubts to let the actual investigators do their job, rather than leaning on whatever narrative was circulating online. A phone call with one of the event organizers then surfaced, and it seemed to clear up a lot of the confusion around his Houston trip. The two talked through plans for the following day, logistics around travel, and even a jacket that still hadn't been dropped off. The tone was relaxed, almost casual, with both parties agreeing they'd connect once he landed. After playing that back, Charleston hit back at reports claiming his comedy show had been canceled, saying there was never a comedy show to begin with.
This is what I want to tell you, James Prince. When I talked to the FBI yesterday, the FBI want to know, why would the Houston Police Department, the FBI is curious to know, James, why would the Houston Police Department give you a police report to an open murder investigation with people's names and statements on there? Who in the police department you got paying? Who you paying in HPD? Because everybody know you got the police on the payroll. The FBI just can't infiltrate the Houston Police Department to get them. Everybody know James Prince got the Houston Police Department on their payroll. That's why when Trey and Zero was when them jumping on Trey, that's why they did it in front of the Houston Police Department, and the Houston Police Department never stopped it. Y'all noticed that in that video, right? Why would the Houston Police Department give James Prince and his son, who was at a open murder investigation, why would they give him the police report where they got witness addresses?
Why would they give him the police report where they got witness addresses and witness? He said the reason he went to Houston was for a community event. Full stop. Nothing close to a stand-up set. He even laughed about it, pointing out that community and comedy don't sound anything alike, and that people were confusing two completely different things. From there, he turned his attention to bloggers and online personalities, calling them out for running stories before doing even the most basic fact-checking. His argument was simple. Dramatic headlines pull in more clicks, so too many creators skip the verification and go straight to posting. He said people are putting out wild claims without making a single phone call or confirming a single source, and that's exactly how misinformation gets legs. He told his viewers not to just absorb whatever they hear. His advice was to stack up multiple sources, dig into the details yourself, and actually think before landing on a conclusion. He acknowledged that some of the bloggers reporting on him were people he knew personally, but he still stood firm that a lot of what was being published hadn't been properly researched. As the conversation kept going, Charleston circled back to what he says went down inside that restaurant. He made the point that the private conversations and the laughter happening in that room weren't coincidental at all.
Witness name. Who in the police department is that crooked? Were they in bed with Rap-A-Lot mob ties? This is an open murder investigation. The FBI want to get Houston Police Department and Rap-A-Lot mob. They trying to connect the dots with them too. And you can best believe there are people making phone calls right now today You can best believe there are people making phone calls right now today to the FBI wanting to know how does James Prince get a motherfucking police report with witnesses' names and addresses and statements on it in an open murder investigation. Who dirty? What dirty cops working with Rap-A-Lot? Does James Prince get a police report with witnesses' names and addresses and statements on it in an open murder investigation? Who dirty? What dirty cops working with Rap-A-Lot? Those are the questions we need to be asking. Not that we trying to shut down a Houston, Texas. Everybody knows Jay Prince is dirty and his dead bodies.
According to Charleston, the people involved already had a clear understanding of what had happened, and he believed he'd walked into a tense situation without knowing what he was stepping into. He said he genuinely didn't know who owned the place or who was connected to it when he first walked through the door. He claims he found out more later and felt someone should have pulled him aside and warned him before any of it went down. Looking back, he says having that information up front would have changed his whole approach. Even still, he made it clear he came in peace and wasn't there to start anything. The tone of the conversation then flipped completely because Charleston shifted gears and started going in on Wack 100, and not in a serious way. This part was all jokes, all exaggeration, all playful roasting with zero pretense of being factual. The crowd was entertained, and that was clearly the point. He painted ridiculous mental pictures of how Wack supposedly looked, hunched over Clubhouse for hours on end. Every detail got stretched further than the last, from posture to comfort level to general energy. He started pulling in TV character comparisons and riffing on how unbothered Wack apparently seemed during those long online sessions. Charleston was fully locked into comedian mode, and each punchline landed harder than the one before it. None of that section was presented as fact. It was straight performance, animated storytelling at its most over the top, and the audience felt every bit of it. He kept building, kept escalating, kept turning small observations into full routines, with his sons right there in the mix. Then the energy shifted again, and he came back swinging hard. He challenged Jay Prince directly. If you're powerful enough to shut down youth events, prove it. Stop crying. He made it plain he's not sitting down with anyone like that, and he's not going anywhere. Hit him in the mouth or take him out, because he's not stopping talking. No one's putting a muzzle on him. He said exactly what he had to say, then signed off with a simple, "Say what's up, brother." The call started simple enough. Charleston's brother hadn't arrived yet, the jacket hadn't made it either, but there was an address ready to send it to. They made quick plans, confirmed they'd connect the next morning, and kept things casual. But even while the phone call played out, Charleston kept the roasting going on the side. He pointed out that the internet never lets a moment pass without turning it into something bigger. Once a story catches fire online, every small detail gets stretched and twisted until nobody can tell what's real anymore. That's not an accident, that's just how it works now. What made the whole situation messier was how fast the different versions started multiplying. One page would post one claim, another creator would spin a completely different angle, and suddenly people were fighting in the comments over things nobody had actually confirmed. That's the real problem with viral news. Through all of it, Charleston kept bouncing between sharp media criticism and straight-up humor. Whether the topic was Houston, internet personalities, or how online reporting actually operates, his message never really changed. Don't take headlines at face value, do your own digging, and stop assuming that whatever's going viral is automatically the truth. People online had a lot to say after everything wrapped up. Some felt Charleston played the whole thing exactly the way he wanted to. Others thought he crossed the line. But either way, nobody was ready to move on from the conversation. Then came the clarification people actually needed. After playing back the phone call with his contact, Charleston addressed the comedy show story head on.
And him and his sons. So let's get the FBI in on this, James. Since you so bad, where you can shut down youth events, you ain't that bad. Shut your up, quit crying. And I ain't never sitting down with no like you. Hit me in the mouth. I keep telling you, if don't none of you like what I'm saying, you kill me or hit me in the mouth or shut you up. Cause I ain't gonna quit talking. Can't no put no muzzle on my mouth. Suck my Jane. You and your group of gangsters. Say what's up, soul brother?
Brother, you make it in yet?
No, I ain't made it in yet.
Okay. Okay, dang, I was gonna tell you, man, we in the championship. I was gonna try to get you to come out to the game.
Yeah. Now I ain't gonna be in till tomorrow.
Okay, look, the jacket ain't make it in yet, but I got the address to send it to you.
Okay, bet.
All right.
All
It'll be sweet, man. But yeah, man, man, we'll see you tomorrow, man.
I already bet.
What do I need to do? Do I need to just take?
His words were direct. Community and comedy don't even sound alike. He wasn't in Houston for a show. He was there for a community event, and he made sure everyone understood the difference. He wrapped it up the same way he started, with a reminder to stop trusting bloggers blindly. His advice was straightforward. Only believe half of what you hear, half of what you see, then research the rest and piece together what's actually true. And he said it with a little laugh, noting that some of those bloggers spreading the wrong story were actually people he considered friends. These are people he genuinely considers his guys, but he knows they're cutting corners. They're chasing numbers, not truth. Nobody on their team is picking up the phone to call Charleston, to call someone from Rap AOT, to actually verify what they're putting out there. Instead, they hear something that sounds wild and attention-grabbing, and they run with it. No research, no fact-checking, just post and hope it pops. That's where things are breaking down as a people, and as a culture, because we're trading in half-truths and straight-up lies like they're verified facts. A headline grabs everybody's eye, but almost nobody stops to ask where that information actually came from.
Before I get there? Or,
Yeah, just call. I call you when I get in. I get in real early, so I hit you tomorrow morning.
Okay, bet it up.
I bet.
Appreciate it, buddy.
Yeah, so y'all just heard it from Miss Pap yourself, man. Ain't nobody shutting. Anyway, ain't no comedy show. I don't know where these getting no comedy show from. My comedy show is in Virginia. I told y'all I was going to Houston to do a community event. Community and comedy don't even sound alike. Community event, comedy show. Community event, comedy show. So I don't know where the fuck these get off with a comedy show. But these bloggers, that's why I tell you, don't believe these bloggers. Only believe half of what you hear, half of what you see, then you research the other, and then put all the facts together, and you see what's true. But please, don't listen to these bloggers. And these are my friends. These are my guys. But I know they're just doing lackluster reporting, and they just doing this for numbers. They're not going to do any due diligence. They're a team of people. They're not going to do any research. Hey, call Charleston. Hey, call somebody from Rap-A-Lot. Hey, they're not going to do any of that to verify and make sure everything is credible. They're going to hear something. It's going to sound sensationalized. It's going to sound like this going to be, and they're going to post it without any doing accurate research. And that's where we're losing it as a people and as a culture, because we are taking lies and half lies for facts and face value truth and in spirit.
Charleston has built a name for himself by saying exactly what's on his mind. And that's precisely why every interview, live stream, and podcast clip he's part of draws a crowd. His supporters say the man just isn't afraid to speak freely. His critics say he goes too far on purpose just to stay relevant. Either way, his name keeps trending every single time a new clip hits the timeline. The situation kept spreading, partly because well-known personalities started jumping in with their reactions.
They say Wack shaved the back of his thighs. They say the back of Wack's thighs was shaved. All that hooping and hollering. Who all knew Wack was over there naked? But thought Wack was over there naked. They said 5'5" with them big old hairless thighs. Boy, I got hair on my thighs, Wack. Can you hear me? Wack said 5'5" with them hairless thighs. They said that boy shaving the back of his leg with Noxzema. Putting Noxzema cream on the back of his leg and shaving it, so he get that Bengay tingling feel. And say the boy put what they say that boy putting on the cheeks? Yeah, they say Wack rubbing that Jergens. Yeah, that Jergens mean lotion. That dry up real fast on his ass and go lay on his belly. I knew that was the type of lay in the bed like Punky Brewster. Y'all got to go back and watch the when Punky Brewster first come on. She was laying on her stomach with them white socks on with her 2 feet up in her, and they was crossed.
Once bigger platforms started throwing their takes into the mix, the conversation jumped way past Houston. Suddenly, thousands of people who had never followed any part of the original story were picking sides based on a 30-second clip with zero context. That's exactly how online drama snowballs, starting small, then exploding into something nobody could have predicted at the start. Plenty of people watching from the sidelines noticed something familiar about all of this. Online disputes between public figures almost never stay contained. One comment sparks a response turns into a live stream, and a live stream becomes 10 reaction videos. Pretty soon, the original argument gets buried under the avalanche of back and forth. At the same time, cooler heads were urging people to slow down and separate what was actually confirmed from what was just being assumed. Strong claims need real evidence behind them, and guessing isn't the same thing as knowing. That's a line a lot of people were crossing without even realizing it.
Wack was laying on his bed like Funky Brewster. Say, I thought I seen him tapping his big toe. I ain't say, what y'all betting? And listen, that be on Clubhouse. I've been on Clubhouse for a long time. Say, listen, Wack 100 be on Clubhouse a long time, sitting up there button. Say, if they ever catch me, I'm laying on my back with that dick in the out. I'm laying on my back. Look like I just got rolled. I'm laying there out. But you ain't gonna find me on no now pitching, stand on my belly. Why ain't no man got no business on his belly with his folks be standing up posing with that in his hand. Ah, you got played. And your wife got to go to the beauty shop and listen to her husband. Them talk about his husband, her husband's back, his booty, his calf muscles, up under his feet. Yeah. I bet you, which is now don't you Wack? I bet you one of them big old.
Meanwhile, content creators weren't slowing down at all. Breakdowns, reaction videos, and live commentary kept rolling out, covering every new angle. Some people zeroed in on the restaurant moment, others dug into the community event, and a whole separate crowd focused entirely on the online debate itself. Every new upload gave audiences another reason to keep watching. The one thing almost everybody could agree on was how fast social media flips a small dispute into a national conversation. A clip gets clipped again, people react before they've seen the full thing, and suddenly millions are arguing over something only a few people actually witnessed. That's just how it works now, and it doesn't look like it's slowing down anytime soon. As the reactions kept piling up, the same questions kept floating to the surface. Would anyone involved actually step forward and try to set the record straight? Would new information shift how people saw the whole situation? Or would this just quietly disappear the moment something bigger took over the timeline? Those unanswered questions kept viewers locked in, knowing that a single new interview or live stream could flip the whole conversation on its head. As the debate spread further, more creators started looking past the headlines and asking something different. How much of this story was actually backed by real evidence, and how much of it had just ballooned through endless online reaction cycles? That question alone became almost as compelling as the original controversy. Some commentators pointed out that every new live stream seemed to kick off another round of guessing. A short clip would blow up, viewers would fill in the blanks themselves, and before long, those guesses were being repeated like they were verified facts. It's one of the main reasons stories like this get so hard to follow.
Watching his back and go down there and let his feet hang off the bottom of the bed, put your ass in there trying to comfortably eat. Well, I don't eat. I don't eat. I'm like, no, I ain't never, and I ain't no tongue kisser. Nigga, I'm a lame. Yeah, laying on it. Say, and he looked comfortable too. Oh, I get all the time. I don't lay on my belly though. Yeah, you done time before, you know not to never lay on your belly. It's something psychologically keeping off his belly. But I guess you look like needed some ass down where a little bit of ass needed some. I like him. Say, boy, I can only imagine, boy, when it's time to fart or poop, you on there arguing with and talking tough on Pyru. Yeah, on what? Pull up then, on pop. Listen, that thing got. Say, I'm wrong with you in the game, but boy, no wonder you ain't live on Instagram. You wanna lay on your belly, hollering at the world. Getting out, boy, you probably got. Hey, you probably hunching the bed like a
Charleston supporters kept making the case that he wasn't scared to go there on topics that made other people uncomfortable, even when that put a target on his back. His critics, on the other hand, felt that his unfiltered approach had a habit of starting fires that didn't need to be started. Both camps kept pointing to different clips and moments to back up their take, which meant the conversation just kept going. Several people connected to the wider discussion urged everyone to pump the brakes before rushing to conclusions. They made the point that online clips almost never capture a full conversation from start to finish. Without the surrounding context, even a few seconds of footage can leave people walking away with a completely wrong read on what actually happened. Another layer worth noting was how fast reaction channels jumped in. Some creators broke down body language, others went through interviews, live streams, and social posts almost frame by frame. Every fresh theory pulled in another wave of people hungry for a new angle. Still, plenty of observers were quick to note that entertaining commentary and actual reporting don't always end up in the same place, and treating one like the other is where things tend to go sideways. Flashy titles and eye-catching thumbnails will always pull people in, but that doesn't mean everything behind them holds up to scrutiny. That's exactly why so many viewers started pushing back, urging people to double-check what they were hearing before treating it as fact. It also forced a wider conversation about just how much power social media personalities carry right now. One take from a popular creator can redirect an entire online discussion in minutes. Thousands of comments start echoing the same ideas almost instantly, and at that point, it gets really hard to tell the difference between someone's personal opinion and something that's actually been confirmed. At the same time, Charleston stayed at the center of it all. Whether people were in his corner or completely against him, almost nobody could argue that the guy lacked the ability to hold an audience's attention. His interviews, streams, and public appearances kept sparking conversations that stretched well past whatever the original moment was about. As the days stacked up, people started zooming out from individual clips and looking at the broader pattern. A lot of viewers began asking a real question. Does internet culture actually reward drama more than it rewards honesty? Some felt like explosive confrontations were just built to perform better, while others wanted creators to slow down and anchor their takes in something verifiable instead of just running with speculation. But through all of it, one thing couldn't be ignored. People were watching closely, waiting for the next move. Every post, every interview, every public appearance got picked apart for signs of what was coming. That kind of intense scrutiny kept the whole story alive much longer than most expected. In the end, the biggest lesson wasn't really about who came out on top in the online back and forth. It was about how fast these cycles move. One clip lands, reactions flood in, headlines follow, and suddenly the conversation is 10 times bigger than whatever started it. Whether this story keeps going or eventually burns out, it's already become a clear example of how quickly an online narrative can take on a life of its own. And then something else started happening that was hard to miss. The story itself wasn't the only thing being discussed anymore. The reactions had basically turned into their own separate event, with creators firing back at each other just as much as they were engaging with the original situation. Every few hours, a new clip would start making the rounds. Some of those videos cherry-picked only the sharpest moments, while others tried to give fuller context by including longer stretches of conversation. Depending on which version someone saw first, they often came away with a totally different read on what had actually gone down. That set off yet another argument. Should people be basing their opinions on short viral clips, or should they sit through the full conversation first? Many argue that cutting just a few seconds out of context can completely flip how a moment reads, and several commentators made a sharp point throughout all of this, noting that online personalities face relentless pressure to respond fast, sometimes faster than the facts can even catch up. Being first to break a story can pull in millions of views, but rushing also raises the odds of spreading details that haven't actually been confirmed. That tension between speed and accuracy became a recurring part of the broader conversation. Charleston's name kept showing up in headlines, not just because of his own statements, but because more and more creators were jumping in with their takes. Some stood behind his right to speak his mind, while others pushed back on the way he handled things publicly. Those clashing opinions kept audiences hooked, with each new response triggering yet another wave of discussion. Viewers also started noticing how fast these internet moments can pivot. What began as a single controversy gradually pulled in bigger questions about media coverage, public perception, and what creators with large followings actually owe their audiences. In a lot of ways, the story had outgrown the original incident entirely. Accountability became another theme that kept surfacing. Some creators argued that anyone making serious public claims has a responsibility to back them up with real evidence. Others felt that public figures, by nature of the platforms they have built, are always going to attract scrutiny and criticism. That back and forth became one of the defining tensions running through the whole situation. People also pointed out that emotions tend to spike during viral moments. Someone might see a trending clip and react instantly, then walk that reaction back once more. Context comes out. That cycle plays out over and over on social media, where follow-up information can travel just as fast as the original post did. It keeps the conversation spinning long after the first wave settles. Through all the different viewpoints, one thing stayed consistent. Audiences wanted real answers. People kept digging for interviews, statements, and first-hand accounts that might give them a clearer sense of what actually happened. Without that, most of the conversation stayed parked in the territory of opinions rather than anything confirmed. As new videos kept rolling out across YouTube and other platforms, it became clear the story had built its own momentum. Every reaction sparked another one, every breakdown led to a fresh debate, and every new headline sent viewers back to revisit earlier moments through a different lens. That's usually how these big online controversies manage to stretch on, well past the moment that started them. Whether things eventually cool off, or another unexpected development surfaces, one point keeps coming back. Information moves fast, but getting the full picture still takes time. Watching complete interviews, checking reliable sources, and separating confirmed facts from personal opinions are still some of the most useful things anyone can do when a story like this takes over the internet. No matter where someone lands on all of this, one thing is tough to argue with. The story grew far bigger than anyone saw coming. A handful of public comments snowballed into days of reactions, live streams, opinion videos, and non-stop debate. Every new clip seemed to light up another conversation, keeping people glued to their screens waiting for whatever came next. Stories like this are a solid reminder that it's always worth looking past the loudest headline in the room. Viral moments can explode across the internet in seconds, but getting the full story, almost always, takes a lot longer. That's why it's worth watching complete interviews, checking multiple sources, and sorting verified facts from personal opinions before you make up your mind. Whether this controversy is finally cooling off, or another chapter is quietly building, one thing never changes: the internet doesn't stay still. The moment one big story starts to fade, something unexpected is already waiting to take its place. That's exactly why full context and reliable information matter so much right now. We'll keep following this story as it develops, and if new interviews, public statements, or confirmed details come out, we'll break it all down clearly and fairly so you're not left digging through a pile of rumors on your own. If you got something out of this video, drop your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think this situation is finally over, or is there still a twist coming that nobody saw coming? We genuinely love to hear what you think. And if you want to stay on top of the biggest stories in celebrity news, internet drama, and viral moments, subscribe to SoftScandal and hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload. We're here to cover what everyone's talking about while helping you separate the facts from the noise. Thanks so much for watching, and see you in the next one.